if you can hear me and see me. It's been a bit of a battle to get this live stream going today because you might have noticed if you were watching before it started, I had about 10 other live streams all for the same time. And it's because the usual program I normally use, I couldn't get it working. Hi to Jay, hi to Paul, the Blackpool lads, hi to Mildred, Hazel, Stephen, George Smiley is in. We've got Fonzie Daz in. I hope you can all hear me. Remember, type 1 if you can hear me. I've not seen anyone type 1 yet. So I'm here. And yeah, so I was originally, thank you, Daz. I wanted to try and get the live stream going on my computer, which I normally do. But it wasn't working and it kept saying you can't set up this live stream. And I must have done it about 12 times, tried to set it up on the computer. And then when someone told me, they said, which live stream are you going to be on? Because there's about 10 of them. And I looked and I thought, oh my God, look at all these live streams. So it had set them all up. But for some reason, it wouldn't tell me that they weren't working. So that was a bit weird. But anyway, I'm here now. Hi to K Kingy. Hi to Dutch Smith. We've got who else have we got? M3D. Carl Blissett. Hi. Hi to Chris Shaw. Michael Hassel. Kevin Rudd. Stephanie Ketteringham. Cyril Bate is in the house. Hi to everyone. Hi to all the mods as well. So yeah, so I was sort of thinking about going out, although it is a little bit too cloudy at the moment. We wouldn't probably see very much if I went out. It is getting dark enough now at this time to go out, but unfortunately, it's not very clear tonight. So a nice moon last night in Nottingham, low down Crescent. I've got something stuck in my mouth. Hi to David Howard. How do you get a crown on your name? Not really sure about that, Paul. A crown. So yeah, so I inadvertently set up about 12 live streams, including this one, because the program was playing up. So I wanted to show you a lot of pictures because I went out last week. We went up to Keswick. I went with Frank in Blackpool. He might join us on this stream. And we went to photograph the Milky Way, and it was absolutely amazing. And I've done a video about it, but I haven't put the video together yet. But it will be a really, really good video when I put it together. The reason why I did it is because, oh, the crown denotes the person who has chatted the most. I don't know about that. Oh, I've never seen that before. I didn't even know what that was. Hi to Paul. So anyway, the main reason why we went up to the Lake District was because it was nice and clear. And also, we had a new moon at that time as well. We actually had a new, there's a retro museum just opened in Keswick. I just want to show you some. Now, you might have seen the recent video I did at the weekend. I've got a new lens. Look, can you see that? It might be back to front on here. It's probably back to front. It's a TT Artisan, and it's never heard of the brand before, Chinese, and it's an 11mm. That means it's a super wide lens. The lower the number, the wider the lens is. 11mm f2.8. The number f2.8 corresponds to the aperture. That's the hole in the middle. That tells you the amount of light that comes through that hole there. The lower the number, the more light that comes through. So that's got a fairly big hole, you see there, for the light to come through. It's an f2.8 lens, and that what we regard as a fairly fast, we call it a fairly fast lens, a lens that lets a lot of light in, you know, what we call a fast lens. And if you look at the element, you probably see, if you watch the video, you'll probably see better. Just look at that element there. That is what you call a fisheye lens, because it looks a bit like a fish's eye, and it can capture pretty much everything that is in front of it. You've really got to be careful when you're using a lens like this, because even if you've got your hand there or something, you're going to get your hand in the shot, so you've got to be careful. So I'm going to be showing you hopefully some pictures from that lens in the video next week. So let's see what people are saying. We've got 82 watching. We've got Cats Rule. Elizabeth Donnelly, hi. Hi to Callum. Yeah, so it just takes me a little while to put the video together, because we did get some really good weather up there. We saw the Milky Way. This is a great time of the year to see the Milky Way. Right now we do have the moon coming back into play, but when we went up to the Lake District last week, it was a new moon, so we got to see the amazing stars. I can't show you the pictures on this live stream. I was meaning to do that, but unfortunately I have to do this live stream on my phone, and that means I'm a bit limited. I can't really show you the pictures that we took last week. I'm going to have a look at that program and find out what went wrong with it, and see if I can get it working for next time. Hi to everyone in the universe chat. Dangerous wild arachnids. So it is a great time of the year to get out and photograph. Oh, just look at the Milky Way, because it's absolutely amazing. We got to see an amazing sky up there in the Lake District last week, and I was putting this lens here through its paces. Yeah, look at that. It's actually quite heavy, you know. It weighs about as much as, you know, like say a half bag of sugar, 500 grams. It actually feels really heavy. I think the price of one of these, as far as I know, is about 250. I didn't pay for it, they sent it to me. So that's good, isn't it? So I get to keep this lens for doing the video. So hopefully next Saturday, hopefully, I'll have the video ready on this fisheye lens. Yeah, so that's going to be good, isn't it? Yeah, so look out for that. I've even got like a lens cap for it that looks a bit like a biscuit tin lid, because it's such a wide lens that you have to have like a special lens cap to go on it. Hi Helen up there in Grangemouth. You can't beat a clear night, no. And that's the thing, because we went up to the Lake District. Now the Lake District is obviously a pretty dark place. It's very rural. There's not many people that live up there. I mean, there's lots of people that go up there to visit, you know, to go walking on the hills, and they stay at a hotel and that sort of thing. But at night, because there is so little light pollution, think about where I am here in Blackpool. The amount of light pollution that we have at this time of the year is off the scale. We've got the illuminations on. We've got this town is quite big. It's 150,000 people in this town. It's quite a big town as well. And you've also got those, you know, those beams going off from the piers, if they're shining like searchlights and stuff. I can see when I look outside, you can see the searchlights coming from the central pier. It's crazy. So we have to get out of town if we want to be able to see more stars. I have to drive at least half an hour down the road to get to a place where it's significantly dark enough so that I can look up and see the Milky Way. It's pretty much impossible to see from where I am here in Blackpool. Yeah. So yeah, we do tend to have to travel and make a bit of an effort. Thanks, Paul. Hit the like button, everyone. We're on 31 likes and we've got 74 watching. And hopefully if I get a chance to go out and do some stuff outside, we'll get more people watching, because whenever it's like a moonrise, I'd like to cover a moonrise if I can. I've been a bit unlucky trying to do moonrises in the past. There was that one, remember that one when I went to St Anne's, and the signal kept cutting out, didn't it? It was just a bad signal, that one. But we have had some good moonrises, done some good live moonrise. I remember doing one from Liverpool. I think that was in 2020. Was that 20? When was the Liverpool one? Was it 2023? And then I did a moonrise from Manchester last year, and I had Frank with me again. We set the cameras up and we managed to get this moon coming up. So I'll definitely try and do that again if I get a chance. Has anyone heard about this comet? We're supposed to have a comet, aren't we? Thanks, Cat's Rule. Your fireworks coverage was incredible. Hi to Alan Griffiths. Yeah, so we're supposed to have a comet coming up. Michael is in the house. I've not seen you on X lately, Michael. What's happened to you? I noticed, I looked on X and I thought he'll be on X, and I couldn't see you on there. Well, it's from a while back anyway. I just wondered if you were still on there. But anyway, yeah, we've got apparently we have a comet, and it's called Atlas. A3 Atlas or something, and apparently I think it makes its closest approach to the sun next month, is it? Michael says he doesn't bother with X anymore. Have you seen the space station recently? Well, funny enough, yes, we saw the space station last week when we were in the Lake District. I actually filmed it going over. It was absolutely amazing. So we had the Milky Way in front of us, we had all the stars, and I was using my new lens. And we got to see the space station go over. Yeah, so I'll put that on the video as well, so look out for that. Yeah, we actually have the space station. It's not going over us at the moment, it's actually out of the way. I've checked on the app. If you want to find out when you can see the space station, or any other satellites as well, there's other satellites out there as well, but they're the best website that I can think of is called Heavens Above. Heavens Above. And if you go on Heavens Above and you put in your coordinates, it will tell you when the ISS is going to come over, and also how high up it'll get, and it'll show you a map and everything. So that's the best way to know, to find out. Just use Heavens Above. Both yours and Paul's live stream in the fireworks, both everyone. Thanks, Stephanie. Heavens Above. That's the best one I can think of. Now, you might be able to get some apps as well. There are quite a few apps as well that you can use. The app that I use for astronomy, in fact, most astronomers use, is called Stellarium. So if you're looking for an app to use for astronomy, I say that the best one is Stellarium. Frank is in the house. There's lots of them out there. There's one called Sky Safari, and there's other ones as well. Sky Safari is probably almost up there with Stellarium, possibly. Some people use that for controlling scopes and plate solving and all that sort of thing. But if you ask me, for me, it's free on the internet, it's free on the web. But if you get it for your phone, I think you might have to pay for it. But Stellarium, it's so comprehensive. You can look at the night sky wherever in the world. Just pick a point on the world and say, right, I want to see what they can see right now. And you can do that. So for me, the best app for, this is just like I say, you might have some that you like, the Sky Safari. There are some other ones as well. I used to have one called Star Walk, which I really liked in the olden days, and it played music and everything. But it's a little bit kind of gimmicky, you know. I think Stellarium is, for me, is the best. Oh, we're getting towards. Can we get 100 people watching? Come on, hit the like button. Get some more. We might get 100 people watching. There's 97 watching at the moment. Let's see if we can get some more thumbs up. Hi Stephen. Mark Andrew Chapman in Wolverhampton. Hi to Judy. Hi to Andrew Bateson, Stoke-on-Trent. Sky Safari is good for scope control. Yeah, I've seen a few people use Sky Safari. Yeah. So I've never used it myself, so I don't really know. Free app for iPhone Star Guide, says Mike. Hi from Blackpool, says Carl. So, I'm going to have a quiz. ISS Spotter is a free app and very good, says Dave White. Yeah. Hi to Kerry8404 in Rotherham. Can we get to 100 watching? Come on, let's get to 100. So yeah, I've got the... has anyone seen Saturn recently? Now, I was meant to try and photograph Saturn the other night, but I forgot, and it was right there. Saturn it's possible to see the planet Saturn. It's coming up now. It comes up in the east. It comes up, rises in the east, roughly. So if you look out at, say, 9, 10 o'clock, Frank said he saw Saturn on Monday. I was meaning to try and photograph Saturn. You can't miss it. It's quite bright, and it's towards the east in the early evening. I'm just gonna see if I can. Oh, I can't check at the moment, but I know I definitely saw it, and it was about a quarter of the way up the sky, and that was quite early. Now, if you're out at midnight, you've got an even better chance of seeing Saturn, because Saturn will be a lot higher up. In fact, it'll probably cross the meridian. Be crossing when it crosses anything that crosses the southern meridian is at its highest point. So when you look south, any star which gets to that point south is as high as it'll go, and then it'll go down again. So the meridian, the southern meridian, is where everything that we see in the sky gets to its highest point. Whether it's a star, whether it's the moon, the sun, you get to see them at the highest point due south. So that's your southerly meridian. So if you're ever photographing, if you want to photograph, say, a part of the sky, make sure to try and photograph it when it's not necessarily when it's due south, because it could be almost overhead. And if it's almost overhead, you'll have a difficult time trying to line up. So if you can get it more than halfway up the sky, you'll have a better chance, because anything that's low down, when things are low down, they're obviously in a bit of murk, and there's obviously atmospheric. You're looking through a thick atmosphere. I look a bit like it was that guy that used to wave his hands around like whoa, like that. Magnus Pike that used to do all that. It's the way that I keep describing things by just doing this here. But yeah, whenever you look at stuff that's low down, the atmosphere is wobbly like that. It's wobbling about. It's like being in a swimming pool and looking up at the bottom of the swimming pool. You've got a wobbly atmosphere. You've got a lot of murk. You've got haze down there. So when things are higher up in the sky, you get a much better chance to see them. Well, I mean, you can see them when they're low down, but the thing is, if you're trying to photograph them or look at them through a telescope, they'll look a lot better when they're higher up, because you're looking through less atmosphere, less gunk, none of this, well, not as much of the wobbly atmosphere. There will still be a bit of wobble. It all depends on our atmosphere is a little bit wobbly. Yeah, I've had an alert tonight for the Northern Lights, so there's a chance that we can see the Northern Lights. There's a lot of waterways around me here, says Cat's Rule. Oh, we're over 100. Hey, we're over 100. If you've just joined us, thanks very much. Don't forget to hit subscribe. We're over 100 people watching. I will have an astro quiz later on, and I'm going to be asking the quiz questions from this book here. Is that back to front? It's going to be back to front. I'm sorry, it's back to front. But this is an astronomy quiz book, and I am going to be asking... I need to see if I can flip... I tried to flip that round on my settings on my phone. I wanted to see if I could flip it so that everything was the right way around. And I couldn't do it. I'm sure I went into mirror image and I said, I don't want it to do that. I don't want it to do that. And it still shows things the wrong way around. So that's Aurora Watch was bright red and now it's a tiny green. We actually Frank will testify that I actually caught a bit of the aurora last week in the Lake District. I got a photograph of it and I was going to show you actually, but unfortunately, because I'm not doing this on the computer, I couldn't show you the picture. So hopefully I'll show you sometime. But yeah, the aurora was going. It was. I saw it. Didn't see it. Couldn't see it with the eyes, but I could see it on the camera. I was gobsmacked by the aurora on the camera. Yeah, it was over Blencathra. If anyone knows Blencathra, that's where we could see the a little bit of red aurora. Atlas is crossing Mars orbit, close to Mars next week. Wow. So it's getting closer, but will we be able to see it? Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Will we be able to see this comet, which is coming 23 miles from the Atlantic Ocean as the crow flies? Multiple choice quiz. I think it is multiple choice. Frank said his feet were cold. Well, you see, Frank made a mistake. When you're out in the dark and you're photographing the stars, it's a good idea not to walk into a lake. Try not to walk into a lake. I know it's hard to see where you're going, but that was the mistake that Frank made. He tried to walk into a lake. Oh my goodness. Comet 3L, is it 3L Atlas? Closest on, oh, is that December? 19th of the 12th? I will be doing Canada, yeah. Yeah. We've got 109 watching. If you've just joined us, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. God, I've got a right itch here. So anyway, I'm just looking in the Sky at Night magazine. Sorry, it's the wrong way around. I'll have to look in the settings, see if it's not a comet, it's an alien spacecraft. Lol, says Mike. Now, funny enough, I was just talking about Saturn, and you know the rings of Saturn. Well, actually, at the moment, they're very, very close to being edge on. In fact, I think someone took that picture, but it's not. It's like a video. It's like a sort of. Can you see? The rings of Saturn are very, very sort of edge on. They're not open. Can you see there? So that someone took that video fairly recently. So the rings of Saturn are almost like that. They're almost edge on. And it's all to do with the way that we look at them, the way the planet is in its orbit. So, yeah, so it's, look at those pictures there, look, can you see? You see the rings, you can barely see them. If you were looking at them through a telescope, you might be lucky to see them at all, because the rings are so thin. There's no depth to them. I think they reckon the depth of the rings is about 10 meters, which when you think it's 5 billion, what is it? No, it's 10 billion, isn't it? Is it 10? How far away is Saturn? It's 10 AU away. 10 AU. That's a heck of a long way away. So you can imagine something that's so thin, 10 meters, that far away. You're going to have a job seeing it. So this is what Saturn might look like around about at the moment. In fact, that's in October. So you might be lucky to get to see a bit more of the rings at the moment, but they're going to close up towards October. So if you have like a reflecting telescope, you know, like a fairly powerful telescope, you can quite easily see the rings of Saturn. It looks absolutely amazing. Thanks, Cyril. It is a good book, yes. Looking at Saturn last night and the rings look pencil thin, says Dave, yeah. Yeah, so I think the pictures here, what this is showing is how the rings will be in, well, pretty much next month, really. Yeah, they're going to be very, very thin. You're going to be lucky. You're going to be lucky to be able to see them. Yeah. I lost the chat then for a minute. The Americans are landing on the moon next year. Are you excited by this? Do you think they could actually do it? Yeah, we'll wait and see on that. We'll wait and see. I'll keep an eye on it. So I just had to take my glasses off because I'm struggling to read the screen now. So like I said, this time of year, we've got the Milky Way back. That's what Frank and I were doing last week. We were photographing the Milky Way. We got some cracking pictures as well. Look out for the video. Frank said that they're going around the moon, not landing on it. So they're going around it. They're not going to land on the moon. They're not landing. They're just, well, that's what I thought. I thought, what? Landed on the moon? That's new to me. I thought I didn't know they were landed on the moon. I'll have to have a little look at that. Isn't it amazing how they landed on the moon? What? When was it? 1969? Was it August 1969? All that time ago, with a spacecraft, and they used the technology they had to use to do it. Your pocket calculators got more power than the technology they had then, and yet we can't even do it now. Why can't we do it now? No wonder there's all these conspiracy theories going around about did they ever land on the moon? They don't have a lander yet, says Martin. Are you planning to see the solar eclipse? Yes, there is a total solar eclipse, and it's happening next year in August. And one of the best places to see it is northern Spain. Now, this is going to be really good. It's going to be one of the best eclipses in Europe because where it is, I mean, in August in northern Spain, I mean, I would have thought that the weather would be pretty good. They get a lot of sunshine in Spain. It crosses the whole of the north of Spain. I think it misses Portugal. It doesn't touch Portugal. But yeah, it starts in the sort of, I think it's the northwest and then makes its way down to the sort of middle of sort of maybe Benidorm, I don't know, maybe down there or somewhere like that. So it's going to be a brilliant eclipse. And if you've got a chance to go to Spain next year in August to see the eclipse, go and see it. I'm definitely going to go over there and see it. And don't forget that in 2027, we have got the eclipse to end all eclipses. And if you're lucky enough to visit Luxor in August 2027, you're going to see an eclipse that lasts over 6.5 minutes. One of the longest eclipses, total solar eclipses that you can possibly see. And Luxor is bang on the center line. It could not be more on the center line if it tried. So Luxor 2027, that's a little bit further away. But yeah, Spain 2026, northern Spain, a total solar eclipse is happening in northern Spain. It's probably going to, I think that this is going to attract a lot of people. You can even see it in Ibiza, I think. You can see it in the some of the islands, you know. I'm not sure if it's total in Ibiza, but I'm definitely going. Oh yes, Paul, I will be going. In fact, I should book it up now, shouldn't I, to make sure that, you know. But I tend to book things at the last minute. You know, when I went to see the eclipse, in the first eclipse I saw in Wyoming, 2017, booked the trip not more than about 10 days before I went. Only 10 days before I went. The eclipse last year in Dallas, a couple of weeks before I went, booked up. Not even that. In fact, it wasn't even that long. It was probably the same as the other one, probably about 10 days. I leave things to the last minute. I don't tend to book things in advance. I tend to leave them until the very, very last minute. But if I'm traveling on my own, it doesn't matter because I can book last minute because I'll always find somewhere. If you're traveling with a family, it's a bit different because you have to have time off. The kids need to be off school, and there's all sorts of factors when you're traveling with other people. But when I travel on my own, I can tend to just book at the last minute, because there'll always be there'll always be one seat somewhere. Whether you're trying to get 3 or 4 seats, it can be impossible to do that, especially if you want to get them together. But God, I'm starting to lose my voice already. Wow. It's hard work, this talking, talking on a live stream. I always talk a bit louder as well than I normally do. Cyril says, get it booked before you get upset. Yeah, I think I probably should, yeah. I heard a few people talking about the one in 1999. Yeah, Callum, changed a lot of energy, powerful stuff. Some people saw it, a lot of people didn't. Even Patrick Moore was at that one down in Cornwall and he missed it. Yeah. Don't lose your voice for the quiz, says Mouse Charger. Callum books holidays at the last minute. Yeah, so we've got a lot to look forward. Do I spell my name Stephen? My name is with a PH, Paul. Yeah. It's with a, I spell it, it's with a PH, mine. Yeah. So yes, we've got an eclipse. 2 eclipses, and they're both happening at the same time of year. It's all to do with the way things line up, that you tend to get eclipses, total solar eclipses around about the same. There's also a cycle. It's what they call is it the Saros? I think it's called the Saros cycle. Now, when the moon goes around the moon goes around the Earth every 27.3 days, makes a complete orbit of the Earth, and every so often it'll line up with the sun, or nearly line up with the sun, and you get a partial. So that happens quite often. And you'll notice as well, whenever you get a total solar eclipse, you always, or even a partial solar eclipse, you'll always, not always, but sometimes followed by a lunar eclipse, because everything's sort of still lined up so that when the moon goes around the other way, it's in the shadow of the Earth. So because they're still sort of lined up. So there's quite a lot to it, a lot of measurements to it and everything. Paul's middle name is Stephen. The proper way to say it, like me, Stephen, yeah. So yeah, we've got quite a lot to look forward to. Like I say, now, this time of year, if you're lucky enough not to have the moon out, I think we do have the moon. The moon is starting to get quite prominent in the sky at the moment. We've got, it's coming up to a half moon at the moment, I think. So that might affect the sky for a while. But when the moon moves out of the way, when we get into October, sort of towards the middle of October, we'll be able to see, go out and hopefully be able to see the Milky Way again. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for anyway. I've got plans next month. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but I do have plans, and I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do quite well. Now I'm just reading here. It's probably a bit early, but there is a meteor shower next month. It's not one that I tend to really look for, but we have got the Orionids happening around about, let's see, when's the peak? Around about the 20th, 21st of October, we've got the Orionids. The Orionids tend to be near Orion, because that's what they're called. So, do any of your plans include visiting Blackpool? Enjoying it? Steve, yeah, people call me all. I'm not bothered if people call me Steve or Steve. That's okay, yeah. I'm not bothered about that. So yeah, we've got quite a lot to look forward to, and hopefully I will have that video. Don't forget, where's that lens? There's a lens there. Look at it there. If you missed it before, look, whoa, look at that. George Smiley is coming to Blackpool. So yeah, look out for the video. I think it's a good video. I tried a few things. I also tried it against another lens I've got as well. So this lens here is the sort of lens that will capture everything. I mean, look at it. Look, just look. You can see there, can't you? It's what they call a fisheye. So it can capture almost everything that's in front of it. So it's a really, really good lens for capturing the stars. And it's a shame that I can't show you the pictures, because the reason, before I started the live stream, when I tried to set up the live stream, I tried to set it up on the computer so I could show the pictures. But unfortunately, the program kept crashing, kept saying it wouldn't work. And that's why there were 10 live streams before this one. It set them all up, but it said to me they weren't going to work. So I've ended up having to do the live stream on my phone. So yeah, a little bit disappointing, but we carry on to see what people are saying. Geminids, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, we have got in December. It's around about the 13th. I think it's the 13th or 12th to the 14th. Probably peaking on the 13th or something like that. The Geminid meteor shower, I think, is the best meteor shower of the whole year, and I might actually go travelling this year to see it. Yeah, I've been travelling before to see it, and I'd like to have a good chance of seeing it. For me, the Geminid meteor shower is the best meteor shower of the whole year. The only thing is, it happens in the middle of winter when it's freezing cold. But I remember a couple of years ago, I went out into the back garden and I looked up at the sky, and it was nice and clear, and I got to see loads of them. Oh, they were all over the place. They were amazing. They were absolutely amazing. 1608, when the first telescope was invented. Wow. Yeah, by Galileo Galilei. The file flyer is in the house. So when Galileo invented the telescope, well, they didn't really invent it. Galileo didn't invent it. It was invented by some Dutch person, like a little spyglass thing, you know, like a little, probably like a little bit like that there, like a little spy that you could look through. You could look through it like that. And Galileo happened to be the first person. It wasn't meant for looking up there. It was meant for just reading or maybe looking at things that are far away. But Galileo took this spyglass and pointed it up there. And then he'd managed to develop it a bit more and managed to make something that he was able to see Jupiter. And when he saw Jupiter, well, that really caused a bit of a stir, didn't it? Because he could see the moons going around Jupiter. And everybody thought at that time that we were the centre of the universe. And when you can see moons going around Jupiter, you know you're not the centre of the universe. The Catholic Church were not happy. They were not happy with Galileo, but it was proved right in the end. Brummy in the Highlands is here. Hi, Mike. Moon rises. Yeah, there is a bit of a moon around for the Geminis, but it's going to be mostly out of the way, hopefully. Anyway, type 1, if you're ready for a quiz. We've still got over 100 people. Can we keep 100 people in at least for the quiz? Come on. We've got 102 people in. We've only got 82 likes, so if you haven't hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs up. Let's see if we can get a few more likes. We've got over 100 people in. Everyone's typing 1. That's good. So we're all ready for the quiz. And also as well, when I read the questions out on this quiz, I don't even know what the answers are. Or I might not know what the answers are because I haven't wrote them out. I'm reading them from a book. So what is your take on all the L3 Atlas Comet? I've not got high hopes for L3 Comet Atlas, to be quite honest. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see on that. But I'm not keeping my hopes up because I don't think it's going to be a comet. What was that one in 2020? Neowise. I can't see it being anything like that. So anyway, here we go with the quiz from my book. First question is, this is actually quite a difficult one, this one. This is quite a deep question. What is the cosmological constant? And there are 4 answers. A constant that describes the rate of rotation of the universe. A constant that describes the rate of contraction of the local group. A constant that describes the rate of expansion of the universe. A constant that describes the rate of expansion of the local group. So which one of those is the right answer? I think I know what it is. Does it describe the rate of rotation of the universe? Does it describe the rate of contraction of the local group? Does it describe the rate of expansion of the universe? Or does it describe the rate of expansion of the local group? I actually know the answer. So which one of those? A, B, C or D? The only thing is, when I read, they were quite long answers then, weren't they? It took me a while to read all them out. So let's see what people are saying. I probably should have labelled them, shouldn't I? But I think people probably know, don't they? Anyway, the first person to get it right is Martin with C. And then Mouse Charger came in with C as well, not long after. Kevin, C. 1 cross each, C. I think when you think about it, it's actually fairly obvious. The cosmological constant describes the rate of expansion of the universe. The rate of expansion. So the answer to that was C. Right, now this might be a little bit easier. What is the name of the brightest star in the sky? Is it A, Betelgeuse, B, Proxima Centauri, C, Sirius, D, Pollux? What is the brightest star in the night sky? That's the brightest to us, by the way. Betelgeuse, A, B, Proxima Centauri, C, Sirius, or D, Pollux? And when it says the night sky, the night sky, not the day sky. I know the sun is bright, but we're talking about the night sky here. Although you could say, you could argue about that, couldn't you? You cannot be serious. Well, the file flyers come in and said Sirius. And Kevin said Sirius as well. M3D said Sirius. Stephen Smith, Sirius. Frank in Blackpool said, you cannot be serious. Martin said Sirius. Yeah, it is Sirius. We will be able to see Sirius again very soon. Maybe next month. It's just getting going. It's a bit low at the moment. We were coming back from the Lake District last week at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you couldn't see Sirius then. But it will be back. It won't be too long. The brightest star. It's that really twinkly star that you see in winter. You can only really see it in winter. But we might not get a proper look at it until November, because it still takes a while to get going. What is the approximate distance of Pluto from the Sun? Is it A, 3.67 AU, B, 5.9 AU, C, 40 AU, or D, 70 AU? What's the distance of Pluto from the Sun? 3.67 AU, 5.9 AU, 40 AU, or 70 AU? I'm going to have a guess at this one, actually. I'm going to say... I won't say it. I'm going to have to look this up, because I'm not that sure myself. We've got a couple of people saying D. That's 70 AU. Akash Monster says D, C, which is 48. Dangerous Wild Arachnid says C. Is that for this question? Or was that for the last one? Got quite a few people saying D. I'm going to have to look it up. Honestly. Right. The answer is C, 40 AU. That was the one that I thought it was as well. So I think it's Dangerous Wild Arachnids that got that one. I think, unless that was the answer to the last one. Akash Monster got it as well. So well done if you got that one. It was actually 40 AU. So we'll now go to question number 4. What pair of moons are larger than the planet Mercury? Is it Ganymede and Titan, Ganymede and Europa, Ganymede and Io, or Ganymede and Callisto? So which one of those? A, Ganymede and Titan, B, Ganymede and Europa, C, Ganymede and Io, or D, Ganymede and Callisto? Which of those are bigger than... And again, I think, you know what? I am bigger than the planet Mercury. I am going to have a look at the answers. I would probably go for... I know what I would go for, but we'll see, won't we? I'll have to have a look at the answer just to make sure. So we'll have a look. Ganymede obviously is a moon of Jupiter. Well, I got it wrong. I actually got it wrong. I was going to go for D, Ganymede and Callisto, but it's actually Ganymede and Titan. Titan, the moon of Saturn. That's the one that's got the atmosphere. So the answer to that was A. So if you said A, who said A? Let's have a look. K King, you said A, I think. Oh, that might be for the last one. I think that was for the last question. Honestly. Lee Davis, Mouse Charger. I think Mouse Charger might have been first with A. Lots of other people said A. So the answer to that was A. Ganymede and Titan. Right, here's another one, another deep question. Are you ready? What is the effect of dark energy on the fate of the universe? So what is the effect of dark energy on the fate of the universe? Is it A, it'll cause the universe to expand forever? B, it'll cause the universe to contract and eventually collapse? C, it will cause the universe to reach an equilibrium state? Or D, it will cause the universe to become unstable? And I think people are just typing in letters here. You know what? I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, I think I know what to go for. But to be quite honest, so some of these questions are not that easy, are they? So we'll just have a little look at the answers. Yeah, I got it right. I was going to go for A. It'll cause the universe to expand forever. So if you said A, you're right. One Cross Each said A. The File Flyer said A. Martin said A. So yeah, the answer to that one was A. It's hard for me to find out. There's so many answers coming in that I can't see all the... can't tell who got it first. But yeah, it'll cause... Dark energy will cause the universe to expand forever. So that was the answer. Dark energy. Not dark matter, dark energy. They're both a little bit different. So anyway, question number 6. What is the gravitational force of Mercury compared to Earth? Is it A, 0.38, B, 0.9, C, 1.2, or D, 3.7? What is the gravitational force of Mercury compared to Earth? A, 0.38, B, 0.9, C, 1.2, or D, 3.7? I think I know. Yeah, I think I know. M3D81807 has said A. Stephen Smith has said A. One Cross Each has said A. Martin has said A. The File Flyer. Kevin, Mildred, all said A, 0.38. That's what I would have gone for. So let's have a look and see if that's right. Yes, the answer was A, 0.38. So it's 0.38, the gravity of the Earth. So there you go. That was the answer. And I got it right. And quite a few of you got it right as well. Question number 7. Which deep space satellite was the first to leave the solar system? Was it A, Voyager 1, B, New Horizons, C, Pioneer 10, or D, Galileo? I think I know this one. Which deep space satellite was the first to leave the solar system? A, Voyager 1, B, New Horizons, C, Pioneer 10, or D, Galileo? Right, so the first person to put down an answer, the right answer, I think, was Andy Day. And then we have Kevin, and then Lee, K. Kingu, Stephen, one cross each, all said A. And the answer was A. Voyager 1 actually left the solar system. It left the sun's pull, as it were. It's in like the heliopoles, what they call, when you're so far away from the sun loses its gravitational pull on you, and you come into interstellar space almost. So Voyager 1 managed to get away from that pull of the sun, and it did it. It's quite a while ago now that it did it, but yeah, it managed to escape. It actually escaped the gravitational pull of the sun. Question number 8. What type of star clusters are often found in the spiral arms of galaxies? Is it open clusters, A, B, globular clusters, C, dark clusters, or D, solar clusters? What type of star clusters are often found inside the spiral arms of galaxies? Open clusters, globular clusters, dark clusters, solar clusters. I think I know which one it is. I think I know. And I think that Kevin might have it right. K. Kingu might have it right. If you've gone for A, I think you've got it right. Let's have a look at the... you can't find a globular cluster inside the spiral arm because globular clusters are in the halo. So it's not one of them. Open clusters. So the answer was A, open clusters. An open cluster is a bit like, you know, the Pleiades? Or if anyone's seen the Beehive cluster, Praesepe, the double cluster, they're inside the spiral arms. If you've ever seen a globular cluster, that's different. They tend to be in the halo. You don't get them in the spiral arms. Okay, we've got another question now. This is question number 9, and it's quite a lot to read out here. So listen carefully. I'll probably only read this once. A star with a velocity high enough to escape a galaxy's gravitational pull is called a hypervelocity star. What is the origin of most hypervelocity stars in our galaxy? A, they are formed in the outer regions of the Milky Way. B, they result from the gravitational interaction of stars within the supermassive black hole at the centre of the Milky Way. C, they are formed in star clusters near the galactic core. Or D, they are ejected from the Milky Way during the galaxy's collision with other galaxies. Whoa, that was a lot. I've never even heard of a hypervelocity star. What's the origin of them? I'm not going to read it out again, but I'm going to have a guess that formed in the outer regions of the Milky Way galaxy. They result from the gravitational interaction of stars within the supermassive black hole that centers the galaxy. They are formed within star clusters near the star. They are ejected from the Milky Way. I think that it's B. That they would be near the supermassive black hole and they could get ejected from that. So I'm going to go with B. It's difficult, isn't it? Peter's saying it's hard. It is hard. I mean, I'm finding it hard, and I'm an astronomer. Yeah, I was right. The answer to that question was B. They form in the centre near the black hole. And I thought the black hole was going to have a lot of power and they could throw things out just as much as they could suck things up. So a hypervelocity star, or most hypervelocity stars, do originate close to the centre of the galaxy. So yeah, they're deep, these questions, aren't they? They are pretty deep. Got a simple one at the end now. Oh, this is so easy. Who's going to be quick enough to get this one? What is the name of the planet that is known for its rings? I won't even give you the multiple choice on that one. What is the name of the planet that is known for its rings? Wow. We've gone from something mega hard to that at the end there. Wow. Well, you know, funny enough, this planet is not the only planet that has rings, but it's the most famous planet with rings. And it's the most obvious. And we were talking about it just before. And the answer is, I think Martin was the first to get it with Saturn. We were talking about it first, weren't we? Where is it? Look at it, though. Remember, we were talking about those famous rings because the rings of Saturn, at the moment, if you were to look at Saturn through a telescope, you would have a bit of difficulty seeing the rings because the rings are almost like that. Now, in the last few years, the rings have been like that. They've been very open. You've been able to see it because it's all to do with the tilt. You know, it's all to do with the orbit and the way that we're looking at it, and everything's sort of up and down like that. But at the moment, the rings of Saturn are like edge on, so they are a little bit difficult to see. Yeah, that's all the questions. I tell you, the questions in that book are actually, some of them are quite difficult, aren't they? I even had to look up the answers. There was one I got wrong. I think I got 9 out of 10 right. There was one I got wrong, and that was about the moons. Ganymede and Titan are bigger than Mercury. I thought it was Ganymede and Callisto, but no, it was the other one. Mouse Charger got 2. I thought you got more than that, Mouse Charger. I was sure I saw your name next to some right answers before. So yeah, hopefully next week I'm really hoping that I will have a video on our little trip, our little journey. Frank in Blackpool and I, we went up on a bit of a trip. How long did it take, Frank? I think it took about, he drives like a nutcase, by the way. So it took us about an hour and 40 minutes to get from Blackpool to Keswick. Objects like small mirrors, they get too close to the planet called Roche's limit, where gravity pulls them apart. That's interesting. Yeah. Cat's rule says the brain is fried. Paul doesn't want us to know what his score was. Frank says he drives fast for a living. That's his excuse. We got home at 2:40 a.m. Yeah, I got back to Blackpool. Yeah. And I was looking at, I was going down the road on the motorway, going down the road, and we were looking out the window. See Orion. Orion is rising. So pleased to see Orion, the hunter. The winter constellation of Orion is coming up. And we could see it rising. We could see the belt stars, the famous belt stars. My head was glued outside the window on the motorway back because I just kept looking at Orion and thinking, go on, get going. It's coming back, Orion. It is coming back. You'll be all right on Who Wants to Be on a Millionaire. So the back of the class, a Mouse Charger. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's good, this quiz. I think it's really, really good. I think I won't always read the questions from there. Sometimes I'll make them up myself, and they might be to do with what I'm talking about, something that's going on in the night sky at the time. Might be a moonrise or something, or a meteor shower, and I will do the quiz based on that. So, but yeah, that book is pretty good. I think it's pretty good. It's got questions in there somewhere in there that I don't even know. So a Ford Orion on the M55 the other week. I saw a Ford Orion at a car show last week. It looked mint. Thanks so much to Cat's Rule. 1 out of 10 is good. Howard Tack, I love the moon and the night sky. I feel really fit right now. Just being here makes you a winner. So that's it. My voice, funny enough, my voice goes sometimes, and I find it difficult to talk sometimes. But there you go. Thanks to all the mods for joining in. Thanks to everyone for joining. We had over 100 people watching, which is really, really good. I had to do it on the cheap on my phone. I was meant to be doing it on the computer. I wanted to show you some fancy pictures. Unfortunately, that didn't work, so I've had to do it this way. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Will I be back in 2 weeks? You know what? I might be back in 2 weeks, but I won't be back. I'm going to have to get back to you on that. I'm going to have to get back. You'll find out nearer the time, but I can't promise I'll be back in 2 weeks. Certainly not at this time. But I might be live. But wait and see. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. But I certainly won't be back here at this time in 2 weeks, because I'm going to be somewhere, and I could be somewhere far, far away. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? But anyway, that's it for this live stream. I'll let you know about that when we get a bit closer to the time. Look out for the video next week, hopefully, if I get it ready. The one that we did in the Lake District with my super duper new fisheye lens. So watch out for that one. And I hope to try and see if I can join you in 2 weeks. And at the same time, if I can do it, it might be difficult, but we'll see. But anyway, thanks for everyone for joining. Thanks to Cat's Rule for the super chat. Thanks to all the mods as well for coming in. I will see you again. Well, like I say, I don't know. I can't promise, but I'll do my best. So thanks everyone, and I will see you next time. Look out for the video next week.